What up, Chipper Chaps? This is Chipper Chap Chat, episode 124.
124.
I am FooRay.
I'm Chamba.
We're going to talk about some stuff
Mm,
in no particular, well, there's an order, but
right.
we don't have to stick to it. Nobody's going to
Nah,
beat us if we don't.
no, hopefully not.
Um,
Talk about first.
let's talk about some nerdy stuff, Mr.
Yeah,
Cruz. How you been, anyways?
I've been alright. Hay fever.
Sleeping
So,
shit house. Sleeping
oh,
shit
my
house.
sleep is complete garbage. Like, complete garbage.
Yeah,
I get enough sleep, just
in random.
time-wise. Yes. It
Yeah.
depends. It doesn't matter where it land. It'll land any time of the day.
I used to live that life, Jeffrey Cruz.
Mm-hmm. And
Now
now,
these days I usually don't, but it is now 4 a.m. so I can't really talk
oh,
about
you're gonna
it.
break it today. You're breaking it.
Today I'm breaking it. I'm getting to the sleepy side, but I drank an energy drink earlier, so I should be okay.
Okay.
Um,
Otherwise, yeah, sneezing a lot, but otherwise fine.
Sneezing's great.
No, it's
you got
not.
you don't have do you have some version of Thanksgiving in Australia, but it's in a different time of month, right? Or a different
No,
time.
we don't celebrate Thanksgiving.
Not our Thanksgiving. I thought you had some approximation of it where everyone comes over to eat, but it's just not related to our shit at all, and it's in a
What,
different
like
time of year.
Australia Day?
Maybe that's kind of a version of Fourth of July.
Yeah,
Our version of Fourth of
it's
July.
like a mashup of days. We don't really have a day of like.
Do Australia Day everybody get together and eat? Is it like a
We
barbecue?
have barbecues and stuff.
Right.
Yeah,
That's more like Fourth of July.
yeah. I guess it's more like a 4th of July. We don't have Thanksgiving.
I thought there was some sort of
I don't.
equivalent.
Not around like usually. That's why it's like because we don't celebrate Halloween either. You know.
Right, but
Although now,
yeah,
to be fair, they are like there's little events that
yeah.
people
'Cause
hold for
people
Halloween.
like to dress up. Why not?
That's true because especially like if you've got like little kids.
Yeah, they don't.
That,
The actual meaning of the holiday is gone.
oh no, no, yeah,
It's
the
just an
meaning of
excuse
it,
to
yeah, no.
dress up and eat candy.
All Saints Day no longer a thing really.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, I see kids dressing up, but like it's Christmas.
Yeah,
People are prepping for Christmas, so
yeah.
that's a
You got
normal.
any Christmas plans you normally do? You just kick it at the house?
Um, I might go to my brother's place, spend it with my nephews,
Right on, right on.
just family.
That's cool.
That's
We're
fun.
doing Thanksgiving with our neighbors. They're coming. Our
That's
neighbors
cool.
are
Your neighbors,
coming.
your neighbors are cool, so it should be fun.
It should be good times.
Yeah, it should be.
We just went and got all the food stuff for that because
Oh, you're gonna get like, you're gonna eat a lot,
today
aren't you?
is Wednesday now. Yeah, it's Wednesday now, so Thanksgiving is tomorrow here.
Wow, that's cool, man.
Yeah, um,
Lots of good eating, man. That sounds like a good time.
yeah. That's always good. Putting
Yeah.
ourselves in a coma with food.
Oh, it's the best kind of coma. It's the best
Uh,
kind.
are we doing like a time lapse thingy underneath, or are we
Um,
just having the image there?
I'll just pop images. You know what? I don't know. I think it's easier
Okay.
because the time
Uh,
we'll save time lapse for the next episode because we had a time lapse on the previous one.
Are we still gonna draw a thing just for a cover, or are we gonna do a draw?
It's up to you. I don't know, like time wise. You've got Thanksgiving. You got to prepare for. That's why, and I don't want to have to
It's
push this
true.
episode later than it needs to. I'll get this out within the next couple hours. So
Well, that's why I was saying if we keep it to something like chibi, then it's probably all right.
even
But
that,
anyway,
who knows? First
uh,
things.
first things up.
Do you want to talk about
Do
Birds of Prey?
you want to talk about Birds of Prey
I
first?
think
Okay,
so.
so it's official now. The
Yeah.
Birds of Prey movie is called Birds of Prey because before it was just where like they're doing something Birds
Yeah.
of Prey style, but that's what it's called now. And parentheses, the fantabulous emancipation of One Harley Quinn. Um, which you said you don't like,
I don't care for it.
you don't care for it.
I
I
don't care
think
for
it's
it.
interesting sounding. It sets up a tone that I'm very curious
It
about.
does, but I don't care.
And I like Mary Elizabeth Winstead a
I do.
lot.
She's great, and she's gonna play
Huntress, right?
Huntress, and that's cool. We get to see Huntress in the big screen.
And Black Canary.
Black Canary's there. She's played
Uh,
by a child actress once, a once child actress.
yeah, she's in a whole bunch of random
Mm-hmm.
stuff. I don't remember any of the titles now.
Nope.
She was in like Cosby Show and a whole bunch of other stuff that's less shameful
You
to
said Full
remember.
House, right?
Yeah, she was on Full
Yeah.
House. She was I think Michelle's friend when they hung
Yep.
out with Smart Guy or whatever that kid's name was on Full House.
And
Not
it's
Smart,
got Rosie Perez as Renee Montoya.
right? Which I think is fine. I've seen her play like serious. She
Yep.
kind of was a Renee Montoya type in Pineapple Express, except for she ends up being kind of a baddie or whatever.
Oh
But she kind of
right.
plays like a tough cop
Oh right.
type
I
character.
totally forgot that she was in that.
Um, what else?
They got a little girl to be Cassandra Cain.
I'm really curious in what capacity they're going to use Cassandra Cain.
Not much, I
If,
don't think.
if it's literally just going to be like so that they can name drop that character,
I think
or
so.
if it's going to be like a little kid that actually is like a hit girl type of situation because she was an assassin. Because then that's kind of them doing Damien, but
Exactly.
yeah, her, which I still think could be cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we'd never get a version where that little girl is going to be Batgirl. I just
Right.
don't see that being the Batgirl
No.
movie we get.
No. And also the villain.
And did we not talk about that on the last
I
one?
honestly don't remember if we've ever mentioned this.
Ewan McGregor was
Yes.
cast as Black Mask,
Black Mask.
which is kind of a black slick helmet version of like a Red Skull
Mm-hmm.
looking
So it's
character, but he
imagine
wears
Red Skull.
like a mafia suit instead of a Nazi uniform.
So, question: do you think we'll ever see his face in this movie?
I kind of hope not.
I hope not, for the sake of the character.
Yeah, I hope not as well. Spoiler for a game that nobody liked or played. But they made like an offshoot Batman Arkham game that was made by another company, not Rocksteady, but it made
Oh,
in the
right,
same
right, right.
time,
Yep.
where Black Mask was the primary villain for that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was an origin story for how he met different characters like the Joker.
Right,
Yada, yada.
right.
But they did like a kind of twist thing where Black Mask was Joker the whole time.
Do you think they'll do that? Where it's
I
Ewan
think
McGregor as Black Mask the whole film, and in the end, it's like it's actually me this whole time. Ha ha ha.
that's what I was like thinking would be cool.
Yep.
Like if they have someone else play this
I think
character
that would be
and
fun.
then have a reveal of it being Leto at the
Yeah,
end.
I think that would be neat.
I think that would be really crazy.
Like I
But
know
I
they
think
did it in the game
I'm
already.
taking from that game to do
Sure.
that.
And also I know that people weren't the biggest fan of Leto's Joker.
They weren't, but they if they're doing a Harley Quinn movie, if they're doing a movie where Harley Quinn is the Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad,
Mm-hmm.
you can't
Exactly.
not
Exactly.
have Joker be a part of that in some capacity.
Although,
Uh,
man, you'd be surprised. I mean, DC can do what they want.
they can not have him in the movie, but in the reference they make to her ex, they're still talking about that
Mm-hmm.
version of Joker.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't imagine them being like, okay, well now we also have to talk about the Joker movie because I'm really
I don't think
curious.
we've ever talked about it.
We had to have. We had to have.
Maybe because there was a period where photos came out, but we weren't doing episodes.
All right, you were traveling
Yeah.
and whatnot. Well, I think I'm really curious where that movie is going because everybody so far is like that movie is a one-off.
Mm-hmm.
It's not connected to anything. But I don't know that I'm fully convinced of that.
I'm not convinced.
To some degree, I wonder if they are doing an origin
Of the real
sort of
Joker.
for the real Joker.
Leto isn't actually Joker. Leto is the second gen Joker.
But I don't think that. I don't think they're doing a Joker is now a legacy character. I think this Joker is the Joker of a new universe going forward. Sort of
Oh, okay.
because there's supposed to be that new Batman movie coming out
Right,
with
right, right.
the guy that did Planet of the Apes. That's not supposed to be.
Linked.
It's not supposed to be linked to the Batman we got in the shared universe, the stuff. But it very well could be if the Joker makes Bruce an orphan in the 80s,
Mm-hmm.
that would make him a 30 something now,
Bruce, you mean?
Bruce.
Yeah, yeah.
A 30 something or going into 40 something if
Mm-hmm.
he's a little kid in the 80s. I don't know when in the 80s this movie takes
Right,
place,
right, right, right.
but I think that would line up if they're like, okay, now that there's this new Batman, but the Joker is the reason that he is Batman.
Sure.
We don't have to have him fight Joker because we've given you a whole movie about a new version of Joker and
Sure.
we tied him directly into the creation of Batman. It's sort of the same way that the Tim Burton Batman did because
Mm-hmm.
they had Jack Napier shoot his parents.
Yep, yep.
But I think it's different if he kills Bruce's parents as the Joker.
Right, right,
Then
right.
that's the kind of thing that will turn someone into
Yeah,
an
yeah. A
opposition.
crazy. Mm-hmm. Where he would basically, I'm after the Joker regardless. He's the one that
I'm
made me
after
this.
those kinds
Yeah,
of
yep.
things.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I've got to make sure that those kinds of people are taken down.
Right.
That to me makes sense in a way that makes sense for the character in a way
Sure.
that doesn't necessarily if it was just like a mugger, if it's just Joe Chill and some dude shot them and then he's like, well, I fucking hated that mugger so much that I'm gonna fight crocodile people for the rest of my life. Like I
Right.
feel like if he's created by a supervillain, makes sense for a normal man to be like, even though I'm a normal man, I'm gonna
Mm,
train myself to be able
mm.
to take on whatever is out there because he's known that there's crazy shit out there since he was a kid. And
That's true.
I think that's an interesting way to take it. I don't know if that's what they're going to do with Matt Reeves' Batman, if they're going to tie it into this. But I don't know. What order do we have the stuff on here again, real quick?
It's just mainly that and random stuff.
So I want to jump ahead to the Aquaman
Sure.
trailer because we're talking about the Batman stuff and the Joker stuff and all these different things because they're still doing a Birds of Prey, which means they're still doing Aquaman, they're still doing Wonder Woman 84, which means parts of this universe still exist.
That's the thing. Can how comfortable would people be, you, anybody else who's watching,
Mm-hmm.
to move forward with a universe where they're basically pretending, yeah, these ones, I mean, it's all pretend, doesn't matter. But it's like these parts of the stories forget about, but these ones they're still sticking around. Can't
Yeah,
they have it in a way where they can write it into the story where no, this is why it's different now.
I mean that's what everybody speculated that the Flashpoint stuff was going to be like.
But see, at least that way
That was
it's
their, that
story.
was
I
their
like that.
out. That in the story he
Yes,
fucks everything up and
yes,
it changes
I
everything.
like that.
I like that idea because it's a thing that makes sense that helps
Exactly.
the
Like
story.
if you really want to change everything up, make it so in the story that's what happens. Like everyone's saying, oh, they want Michael B. Jordan as Superman.
Mm,
Earth 2 Superman, I think it was a black dude, so sure. It's not
mm.
Clark Kent, but it's Superman. You can do it. But
Yeah, but I feel like they would probably still keep him Clark Kent. They would still do Superman. They just make Superman black, which is gonna piss some people off,
yeah,
even though it shouldn't matter because he's a fucking alien.
yeah.
Uh,
Why not Asian? Why not Mexican? Why not anybody else?
could literally be anything.
Yeah.
Which is why I always really liked Dean Cain
Yeah,
visually.
because he was
And,
ambiguous.
yeah, because he was racially
Yes,
ambiguous. I like
absolutely.
that. Because when I was a kid, I always thought that he looked sort of Asian, Dean Cain.
Yeah, I did too. I was like, there's aspects of him that look Asian, but then other aspects where I'm like,
Like
ah, he's not.
American, like
Yeah,
his eyes are sort of like almondy shape.
But he looked like a good Superman to me.
Yeah, he didn't look like a generic dude. You know,
That's
he
what
looked
helped.
specific, but he didn't look like anything specific.
And then you found out it's like, ah, he. That's why he looked part Asian because he is part Asian.
Is he part Asian?
Yeah, on his
What
dad's side.
Tanaka?
Hmm.
That sounds like Native American as well.
Tanaka's Japanese.
Oh well, Tatanka was Native American.
Yeah,
So Japanese then?
yeah, I think he's part. Because I think he
Interesting.
was like Hawaii or something,
Mm,
which
aren't
makes
they all?
sense, right? But that's what I'm saying. Like, cast someone that's like ambiguous in that sense, and it would work out.
Why don't people talk about that more often? That
I
they
don't know.
cast Asian Superman.
Mm-mm.
That should count, you know?
I think it should. I think it should. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. DC, whatever. I mean, Aquaman looks fine. This new trailer looks fun. That film looks fun.
I think the new Aquaman trailer looks fantastic.
Mm.
I think it looks like they put just as much, if not more, work into the world building than they did with like Black Panther or something
Yeah,
like that.
absolutely,
It just
absolutely.
happens to be based
Hmm.
on sea creature people instead of a fake African
Sure.
name.
Right, right, right.
But it looks like just as much went into,
And
all the
the
crazy
character,
vehicles and world building and the hierarchy and
for
all that
sure,
stuff.
for sure. He's a
And I
person of color.
I love that they are going make it look like what the comic book characters
Dude,
look like.
his suit, that new suit looks amazing.
Black Manta, make him look like Black
Oh,
Manta. Why wouldn't we? He has the big dome head.
yep, yep.
Uh, what's the his brother's name? C, not C
I'm
King.
blanking out, dude.
Oh man, I can't think of his brother's name. But the Patrick Wilson,
Who's a great actor, great actor. That dude, he should be in more stuff.
yeah, he's really great. That was such a there's actually a crazy bunch of really good people in that
Mm-hmm.
movie. Um, I'm really curious how well it's going to do because to me it looks really good. Ocean Master,
Ocean Master.
Sea King, Ocean Master.
But yeah,
Uh,
looks great.
I love that they did his like actual helmet. They did his
Dude,
what
his hair
Derek,
alone looks fantastic. It's
uh
got that
they look
weird.
like they stuck in some of that de-aging shit for Willem Dafoe.
Yep, yep.
You notice
He
that?
well also Aquaman's old man when they showed a younger version of him, they also
Hmm.
de-aged him, and I think they might have de-aged uh, Nicole Kidman a little bit, but who knows? Could
I
just be
feel like
makeup.
the Willem Dafoe one was really drastic to me just because Willem Dafoe
Is
is
old.
so specific looking and
He
he's so
looks
old.
cool as that character though. I'm like, it's nice to
Yeah.
see Willem
Yeah.
Dafoe not be a bad guy.
It is. I feel like he has a great voice for the mentor type
Yeah,
character.
fully. And I'm like, good man. Willem Dafoe is like versatile as shit. He's just he makes such a great bad guy.
Yeah, I love that the movie looks bright and looks like an adventure movie.
Yes.
I was telling my roommate that that it looked like an adventure film, like Indiana Jones or
Mm-hmm.
some shit, but it
Mm-hmm.
happened like Indiana Jones happens to be a sea king.
Yeah, which is pretty sick, right?
Right.
So I don't
Um,
know. This film looks like a lot of fun.
yeah,
How in that
it
new
looks
trailer,
fun.
how was like Willem Dafoe's like, you need to try it, and he's like, you mean like that? It's like, nah,
Yeah, not like that.
not like that one.
Um,
I'm like,
yeah, I'm very curious what makes that one different. I'm very curious about uh, how, because from what I understand, this is also supposed to be kind of its own thing. Like it's his origin story, but they're not gonna like force the connections to the other movies like they did prior to Justice League. How
yeah.
you know BVS and stuff was covered in
So does this
references.
take place after Justice League or not?
It has to
So they're
because
not going to even make mention. Oh, remember that one time?
I don't know if they'll have to because nothing that happened in Justice League is going to be relevant except for that he knows Amazon's now.
Isn't that kind of doesn't that kind of show that Justice League it didn't matter? That's not good, man. It's not. Well, it's not. It's. I don't know if that's a good thing when a film that's supposed to be the group film doesn't
Hmm.
even matter after.
The only context to me in which it really matters is because it is the canon bit of evidence that Superman is alive again. Because
Sure,
otherwise, without
absolutely.
it,
Yeah.
Superman is dead. That's the only major change that happened
Hmm.
to me that really mattered. Like the fact that they all know each other is kind of still irrelevant.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think it's going to come up in the movies all that
No,
much.
no, no, no.
Uh, so to me, that's the only major thing that it's like without Justice League, then it would be weird.
But
Is
even
because
then, it's like, oh, we know Superman's alive now, but then is that even gonna matter anymore?
that's what I was just about to say. Is even though he's technically alive in the universe, I don't know if it will matter
Mm.
because from what I understand, he's like I think he's showing up for one last like swan song cameo thing
That so
in
sucks.
Shazam, and then we're just not going to see him for a
Is he
while.
passing the torch for Shazam?
I don't know. I think he might. I don't know if it's going to be the kind of thing because he said he doesn't plan on. He said in interviews and shit that he doesn't plan on stepping out of the role.
Mm.
So I wonder if it's going to be a thing where where they're like, well, go do what you want to do. Go be Geralt on the Witcher show or whatever on Netflix for as long as you want,
Mm.
and do whatever movies you want, and then we'll just
We'll call
keep
you when we
paying
need you.
to stick around in case we want you to do the movie eventually. And if that's the deal he takes, that's interesting.
Mm.
I just I don't know because it seems like they just don't have Superman plans. It doesn't seem like it's a Henry Cavill issue.
Which is so weird. How do you not have plans for like the biggest hero in the world?
From what I understand, they're going to do a Supergirl thing, and
DC,
they
DC.
seem like they're leaning into the Batman stuff mostly.
They always lean into the Batman stuff, and that's what annoys me.
At least they're
So
giving the
many.
villains a shake
Yeah,
more
no,
so
no,
than
I'm with you
than
there.
with the villains so
Let's try
far.
something different. Let's switch it up to the other side.
Closest thing we have to a villain movie on the Marvel side is Venom, and that's not even really a Marvel thing.
Nah.
Oh, we didn't put that in there too, but apparently Venom is doing really crazy well in the
Mm.
box office and has like now outsold all of the
X
five
Men's.
X-Men franchise, even Deadpool.
Yeah, you posted it on Facebook, and that's why we were having that little conversation there. And I'm like, I don't know, like this might just give Sony a big head
Yeah,
and go, oh yeah, no, see, we don't need that. We can do it ourselves, guys. Let's all those ideas we had for all those Spider-Man ish spin-offs. Let's do
yeah.
it. We got this. We know what we're doing now.
Hmm.
We know what we're doing. We said this. We said this in the past as well, but forget about that. That was somebody else. This is
Yeah,
us now.
I wonder if we're ever gonna actually see that Morbius thing.
Why?
'Cause especially because now they've made money off that Venom thing.
Yeah, they did.
They're not gonna not do this Sony verse.
But see, here's the thing. All right, Venom did well because it's
Hmm.
Venom. Can't they just be like, oh, cool, let's just do a Venom 2 now? Instead of, oh, perfect. Now that Venom did well, we're going to do the Black and Gold. We're going to do the Morbius. Let's do the Aunt May film. Well, who cares? Who cares? Let's do that.
Well, I think that Black and Silver movie was gonna happen either
Black
way.
and Silver, my bad. Yeah, whatever.
I think that was gonna happen either way, but it definitely gives them incentive to be like, okay, now we can do okay if we put it out because that Venom movie did well. I just don't think any of those other IP that Sony has by themselves for Spider-Man, none of it is as strong as Venom
Venom
would
is
be
the strongest.
because he's the favorite villain for Spider-Man for general
Exactly. But see, that's
audiences.
the thing. Like, does Sony realize that? Or do they think, oh, we did good. That means we can always do good.
I'm sure there's because there's enough people working at that place. I'm sure there's some people that feel like we do, and there's some people that feel the other way.
I just hope the people who feel like we do are the ones that are actually gonna make the decisions and say maybe this isn't a good idea. It's like, oh, it worked because it's the character, not because the movie was amazing and we did it perfect. The character's popular. We happened to make a decent film that people
Yeah.
weren't too annoyed with of the character that they liked anyways.
Some of that executive stuff is confusing, man. It's like I just don't know how they get talked into those loops. Like I was talking to Adam earlier, my roommate. For people who don't know who Adam is, uh, we were talking about why reboots so often don't work, and I was saying that yeah, it's one of those things where in my brain it seems so simple. Like I feel like if I could Mad Libs in how
Mm-hmm.
to make a perfect Ninja Turtles reboot
Mm-hmm.
in a way where it would do well and fans would really like it.
I think a
I
lot of
don't,
people can actually think that too, but for some reason, the people who are in charge or the people
that's what
that
I'm saying. There's nothing special about my thought
sure,
about it. I just don't know why
the people
once
in
you get
charge.
up high enough when
Mm.
you have the money, somebody's always like, but no, why not? Why can't they be bulletproof and 8 feet tall? And
Right.
uh, because if you think of even like how they talked about what that movie was going to be before the reboot came out, they were
Mm-hmm.
like, we're making the raid. It's gonna, we want to make that
Dude,
kind of action like in close fighting combat.
I'm
Even
still
if they
waiting.
made the template of the raid where they have to get to the shredder who's at the top and he's got Splinter or
Yes.
whatever, and the turtles have to make their way up through this building that's taken
Dude.
over by the foot.
Oh my
That would be
gosh.
amazing. Do that, and I was like, oh, that sounds perfect. Make me
I'm
watch that.
still waiting for that movie.
Yeah, so,
I
but
think we'll
instead of
always
like
be
eight
waiting for
foot
that
tall
movie.
Hulk creatures with they can punch through cars, but they're ninjas still. So we call them ninjas, but they don't do a lot of ninjaing.
No,
It
like
was yeah, it was confusing. It just seemed, it's one of those things where like, why did it take? How many Transformers movies have they made? Six.
5.
Like, why did it take five before we get to see Optimus Prime look like what Optimus Prime looks like? And like, and we go to Cybertron and see Gen 1 Transformers look like Gen 1 Transformers.
Speaking of this Bumblebee film, right?
Yeah,
Um, it's it's what like the sixth Transformer film essentially, but it's the spin-off,
right.
and it takes place in the 80s. I've watched a bunch of clips of the director talking about it because he's the
Hmm.
writer as well. I think he's one of the writers, but he's also directing it.
I was
Now,
gonna say 'cause the main writer is the same. It's a chick, and she's the main writer that's doing the Harley Quinn thing.
okay, all right, we'll see. Anyways, he's a massive fan of G1, so I
Right.
think he's definitely working under specific restrictions,
Hmm.
but it's almost like he's pushing it to the point where he still gets to do something that as a fan he'll be happy with, but he has to work within these specific rules. Like, I'm sure if it went his whole way, it'd be like, okay, here's what he's gonna fully look like. Here's what it's gonna fully be about. But it's like, no, you have to make it linked to this. And it's like, all right, I'm gonna go as far as I can. I'm gonna push it as far as I can so that you guys are at least satisfied that you get your shit covered, but I'm gonna be at least happy that I got to put this much stuff into it.
You're right.
Do you know what I mean? Like someone, and the thing is, based on the trailers, Bumblebee might be the best Transformers movie.
That's what it looks like. It's
You know what I mean?
the only one that I've seen trailers for in the last
Right.
however many there have been that I'm like, that one actually looks good since like the first
Right.
one.
And I know people's like, it looks like a remake of the first one. It's like, yeah, which is still the best of all of them. And that one
Oh,
still had a lot of issues. This one's almost like, let's fix those issues, make it a little bit more what it kind of was, what it should have been.
mhm.
But, you know, this is the final one so
It seems,
far.
it seems way more in depth than the first one though, because they're
Oh, yeah,
going to
yeah.
Cybertron.
Yeah, yeah.
They're showing. like they're showing crazy ones like Soundwave with the cassette tape coming out of his chest and
That
stuff.
one just blew my mind. I was like, oh my gosh, they're going all the way. Like
Yeah,
it's
where Starscream looks like Starscream instead of a big ass Dorito or whatever.
yeah, it's going all the way, and I'm on board with that one. I've been on board before because like I guess call me stupid. I watch those films because they are a big thing. Because for me anyways, when I watch those films, there are aspects of the film where I'm like, that was fun, that was fine, I like that part. As a whole, you're like, it was what it was. It's not the great. It's not good at all as a whole. But there's little aspects where I'm like, why didn't they focus more on this? Or how can they include like somebody was obviously a fan to include something so small, such a small little detail, yet it's in this giant mess. How come that person wasn't allowed to explore more of that and such like this? Whereas this Bumblebee film looks more of that, where I'm like, he's pushing to the point where I'm like, I gotta please the people who are actually in charge, but I'm gonna do the best I can to make something that I think fans would actually like
Yeah.
from a legit fan,
Hmm.
and not just someone who got into it because they're like, oh yeah, these are just like toys from the 80s. We can do whatever we want. It's like, no, no, no. This guy, he grew up he actually grew up on Transformers. He comes from an animation background, so animation is primarily about storytelling.
Is this the Kubo?
Yeah, it's the Kubo guy.
Hmm.
So I'm like, I'll give this one a shot for sure. But I don't know, like in terms of other properties, how is it not like that at all? Or like, say the DC movies. You're part of
Hmm.
DC. You essentially have a company that makes comics. How is none of those guys like? That's a weird choice.
Well, supposedly they did. They had Jeff Johns over there. So that seemed like that was supposed to be what his job was, is to be like, this is from the comics, this isn't, do this instead.
But then what happened though? How come the results are still what the results were?
Because enough people on the Warner Brothers side had to be like, no, we think we can sell more toys with this or sell more of this with that.
I don't get it.
That's is what I would have to imagine. But I think that they kind of are doing that recently. Like uh, the Shazam thing seems
Mm.
like a far departure for their movies so far. Like that's crazy to me that that's even in the same world as
Do
BVS.
you think we'll get a new trailer for that? By the way,
There's got to be another one
we,
soon.
we we'll definitely get it with Aquaman, right?
Yeah, because that's the closest to Christmas time.
Yeah, it have to, like we'd have to get something with that because we've only got that one trailer so far.
Yeah. Aquaman's tone, because they got James Wan,
Yeah,
it visually, as much as like the Fast and the Furious movies,
he knows what he's doing.
yeah, as much as those movies, like they're not necessarily what I'm trying to go see
Right,
at
right,
any
right.
time. The ones that he did, I remember thinking that the action was really
Mm-hmm.
fun and that the character dynamic with each other
Was great.
was done well.
Yeah.
So for the action that I've seen looks really cool. That extended trailer they put out where it's like the dude's running through the
Mm-hmm.
walls and
That was
stuff, and
that
then
was
that
cool.
foot chase, all that stuff looks crazy cool. And that seems like all from that sequence where he fights Black Manta with the helmet on or whatever. And I think all that stuff looks really great. Everything looks really bright, really like they took it really seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And they got Momoa in that classic Aquaman
Dude.
suit with the orange scales and the green pants, and it doesn't look dumb.
Yeah. See how about that? They could have done that all along, but they didn't. And I'm like, and because I know people were saying it's like he'd look goofy, and I'm like, it's all about context, right?
Hmm.
I'm sure if you see somebody walking down the street, everyone's going to be looking at him. Sure, I get that. But in the world that he's set in, he comes out looking like that. You're like, yeah, I believe it. Like, and it looks like the guy from the book.
It also feels earned because they didn't
Yes,
start with it.
I think that's the case. Yep.
Because he kind of had armor that you could maybe consider like generic battle armor.
Atlantean.
You could just say it's Atlantean battle armor, and then this new thing that he's getting is
It's like the
his
royal armor.
into
Mm-hmm.
now you
Yep.
are Aquaman. Now
Yep. Yep.
you're not just Arthur Curry
Yep. Yep.
who can talk to fish. Um,
It's earned, right? Yeah, yeah. I feel you there. Where it's like this is who he's supposed to be.
yeah, so I think this looks like a good departure from what they have been doing, and I can't wait to see what the Wonder Woman 84 stuff is going to be because
We
that's
should
still
probably get a
paying.
trailer on that soon, I assume too.
I don't know. But they it's still Patty Jenkins directing as far as I know, but it's set in the 80s and they picked Kristen Wiig to be the one of the main
That's the
villains.
weird one. I'm still unsure about that, but
I'm unsure about it, but I also in my head I'm like, they didn't do it for no reason. They have to have some, even if it's a tone switch, it's because they have something specific in mind
of
in
course, and she's a
picking her.
great actress too. So
I'm just very curious what that's going to be, like how different the tone of this one is going to be.
mm-mm-mm.
Because like if you look at how different the tone was between Cap 1 and Cap 2,
Oh, completely different.
then it seems sensical to have a tonal shift because you're switching eras so hard between the 80s and World War
Mm-hmm.
One. I think she was in.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it seems like a cool opportunity to
Sure,
switch tones now, but
absolutely.
I can't. I hope that it's not automatically too silly. I hope it's
Yes.
because everything is going brighter.
Yeah.
I don't. I just hope it's not automatically silly
No.
because they had the opportunity to be so impactful in the last one.
Right. Right.
Her busting out the shield and
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
through the
Yeah.
trenches where it had some really cool
I
visuals.
hope it
I
doesn't
just
feel
hope they
cheesy.
undercut that with Kristen Wiig in a cat
Yeah, I
costume.
hope it doesn't feel cheesy and campy.
Right. I hope it doesn't.
Where they're
But
like, oh, it's okay to be this because it's 80s, and I'm like, yeah, but 80s also birthed Terminator and RoboCop, and
and
those were not campy.
right, and the Cuban Missile Crisis or
Yeah,
whatever.
like shit,
Was
shit
that
was
60s,
serious.
maybe? That was 60s. But
I'm just saying, like shit was serious, you know.
yeah,
But we'll see what happens there.
yeah. I do wanna see what they do with it. I just wanna see the tone
Mm,
really. So hopefully some sort of a trailer for that soon,
hopefully.
and then we'll know because it's still got Chris Pine in it. We
Yep.
don't know how that
Which
works.
I wish they just would have hid.
They didn't show it anywhere. It was from set photos.
But that's what I mean, like in terms of leaks and shit like that. Leaks
They can't control that. That's
ruin
from
that.
us having to look stuff up for this for this show.
That's how it is.
I imagine randos that watch these movies have not seen Chris Pine is in this movie because
Yeah.
there's no way for them to have done that.
Oh, spoilers, by the way, people.
Well, I mean,
If
they
you
watch
didn't know, yeah.
that's what we're talking. Um,
Speaking of other trailers, though, we've got a bunch more to talk about
yeah,
of upcoming
let's speed
films.
up a couple of
Let's
these.
just breeze through them. So, Toy Story 4 teaser, the first one. Do you remember that
I
one, where it's them
To
holding
me, this
hands,
was
spinning?
nothing.
Oh, it shows not. It shows that weird spork.
There's like a new Spoon Spork character that has like a dumb face on it, and
Yep.
he's not a toy apparently to him.
Well, he was made, so like,
Right.
what's that?
I think if you
Uh,
do it, it's still a toy, right?
yeah, that's right. So that looks. I mean, it's Toy Story. I'll watch it. I like the third one, but I thought the third one ended really great, and so we'll see what happens with this one.
All I heard about before it came out, before any teaser stuff, was that this one was supposed to be like a romantic comedy thing.
I think that's still part of it. That's like
Yeah,
because a film can't just be like one.
yeah.
Like
And
there's
then,
A and
but
B
that's just them
stories.
going
So
around in a circle. There's not any
yeah,
like story details.
right,
And
right.
then
It's a
they put
teaser.
out another trailer of Key and Peele basically doing their usher characters or
Mm-hmm.
their valet
Valet
characters that
characters,
getting
which is
hyped
pretty
about
good.
stuff they like. It's basically just that,
Yeah, which is pretty
but
funny.
in toy form. It is funny, but it's weird. It
Right.
seems
There's no context.
yeah. We didn't put the Wreck It Ralph final trailer on here either.
No, I didn't.
Did you watch it?
I did. I think.
Because that's another point of interesting to me because they have a scene at the end of this trailer where Ralph goes into the dark web,
I don't
and
think I've seen this trailer
that
though.
seems like it's a funny scene. It looks
Yeah.
great, but part of me is like,
Don't do
how do
that.
you dark web reference in a
Yeah.
kids
Don't do
Disney
that.
movie? Like kids can access the internet.
Yeah. They'd be like, "Oh, cool. If they can go, I'm gonna check." No, don't.
Yeah,
Really,
I'm gonna
don't.
Google dark web, see what
Do not do
happens.
that. Do not do
See if
that. But
the,
that film looks good.
see
That's
if the
out
guy
soon,
with
isn't it?
the eyeball
Like
shows
next
up.
week?
It came out today.
Oh, what? It's not out here. I'm gonna have to look then. Dang. All right. Well,
Uh,
we'll talk about that, I suppose, eventually. Next trailer was.
Detective Pikachu trailer.
I'm looking forward to this.
I sort of am.
I really am. I saw Psyduck and I'm like, "Yep, sign me up."
Yeah, I don't give enough of a shit about Pokemon generally for that to automatically sell me.
I'm in.
But I
I'm
think
in.
that the Pokemon look interesting. Most of them look cool to me.
Yeah,
Some of them less so. I think Mr. Mime's face is
I
terrifying.
love it. Mr. Mime
But I
looks
think it
amazing.
looks like the Pokemon. They
Yeah.
made them all the right shapes and stuff. They're
Mm-hmm.
just kind of real textures. I guess some people are bent out of shape because they're furry.
But what else are they supposed to be? Like
Like
balloons?
specifically, like one of them, it was Jigglypuff. They're like, it's weird that Jigglypuff is furry, and I was like, well, I guess I never really imagined what texture Jigglypuff
I
was.
kind of imagine Jigglypuff to be fur.
I didn't. I just imagined it was like a Kirby sort of
Isn't
situation.
that wouldn't that be more weird? Like what? Like leathery skin,
For a Jigglypuff, I think I'd be
or
fine
just
with.
flesh? Like she's just Jigglypuff is just pink flesh ball.
Well, that'd be like the Mr. Mime face, basically.
Right, and that's to me that'd be way more creepy.
Probably, but I don't know.
I
I
think
guess
fur makes more
I
sense.
didn't
Anyway,
like, for Pikachu. I totally am on board with the fur.
Pikachu
It
is
just
awesome.
just for some reason, Jigglypuff, I didn't imagine. Also, the Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu,
I don't.
Detective Pikachu thing. He, so there's more than one Pikachu, obviously. So
Yes,
this one's not the Pikachu that is Ash's
it's not.
Pikachu.
That's why everyone's like, "Oh, she's." It's like it's not Ash's Pikachu. This, like, the story takes place in Rhyme City, which is essentially like a city in the U.S. equivalent in the Pokemon world.
So it makes sense to me that he could sound different.
Absolutely.
I don't know that if I fully am into the tone of the movie. It seems like weirdly
Oh, it's very
self-aware.
weird. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna make a buttload of money though. This film.
Oh, I'm sure. Like especially in the current day Pokemon Go generation of people, but it's just some of the stuff like the humor seemed really bizarre to me just because it's nothing like any of the Pokemon that I'm familiar with. But I watched the show when I was in like sixth grade, and that's kind of the end of my Pokemon
Mm-hmm.
exposure. Although I think I did see one of the Pokemon movies, one of the first couple, where like I think there's a Mew in it.
Okay, I think that was the first one.
Um, but yeah, that's kind of the end of my Pokemon knowledge.
I will watch that movie though. I think it looks great.
I think, and I also am not super big on the Justice, whatever his name is, Justice Jones or whatever, the main kid,
Oh yeah. Smith.
Justice Smith. I
Yes.
thought he was okay in
The Get
the
Down.
run, the beat. Was it
The Get
the
Down.
Get Down? I thought he was okay in the Get Down, but I didn't really care for him at all in Jurassic World 2.
Yeah, his character there wasn't.
And I don't think I've seen him in anything where I'm like, I want this guy to be a protagonist in something. But I don't know. We'll see how that one goes. He seems to be playing like a sort of nerdy character.
Mm.
Um, yeah, we'll see. It's weird to me. It's weird to me that Ryan Reynolds though is just kind of Ryan Reynolds again.
Yeah,
He's not like playing a character. He's just Deadpool, but now he doesn't
that's why
swear.
it was weird to me because I was like, when they said he was going to be the voice, I was
Yeah.
honestly imagining that they would do something similar to what they did with, say, the live action Alvin and the Chipmunk movies.
Oh, where they like make his voice
Slightly
smaller.
alter their voices,
Right.
where they're playing a character, not just, hey, I'm voicing, this is what I sound like.
Right. I mean, it would still have his intonations
That's
and
why,
stuff.
because that's what you're after, the character, not
Right.
necessarily him
That would have
sounding
been
exactly like
interesting.
him, you
I
know?
feel like they would have probably not gotten as many ladies into the theater.
Sure, but how? Like, will him voicing it get a lot of ladies into the cinema?
Judging just based on the ladies that I saw the trailer with,
Then yes.
I think yes.
Okay. But they have to understand it's not a Deadpool movie, right? He's
No,
human, can't be
they
that.
don't care that it's Deadpool. They care
Okay.
that it's Ryan Reynolds. They
Okay.
care that it's a cute animal
Yeah.
that sounds like hot Ryan Reynolds.
All right. Okay. So long as it works in their head, because honestly, that scene where it was that version of the CG Pikachu with the
Yeah,
actual Pikachu voice, I was like, that's the best.
yeah, I thought that was awesome.
That was my favorite. I was like, that was so good. I would have watched the whole film if it was just the actual Pikachu voice saying Pika, Pika the whole time.
I thought it would be cool if they put out a different alt cut where all the dialogue was just that with subtitles.
I'd be down. I'd be down. I'd watch that movie.
Um,
I
I'm
want. I wonder if the Blu-ray or something would have that.
I really liked how the Charizard looked like they fully made him like a
Mm.
dragon.
I think Psyduck looked great.
I only saw the him for like one second at the very beginning. I want to see like
Oh,
what
there's a scene where he's sitting behind the girl, and his big dumb head is just kind of there.
I think she is. I think he is the girl's main
Yep,
Pokemon.
that's why. Like she keeps him in her backpack.
Yeah.
Like there are shots where
Um,
he's kind of just like sitting on her back, kind of like facing the back.
I think that was a great choice.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm so glad. That's why I was like, yeah, I'm so down. Psyduck's the best. It's my favorite.
And he's got like a wicked power set too, so
Yeah,
I'm
he's
sure.
very powerful. He's just kind of stupid.
Um, what else we got on the thing?
We got two more trailers. Let's go the final battle. Let's you know what? Let's go the Deadpool one because it's Ryan Reynolds.
Okay, so they're doing a PG-13 re-release of Deadpool
Two,
2,
right?
with new stuff cut in a like new stuff cut in and old deleted scenes and stuff cut in to fill in time. And there's no F-bombs. It's PG-13, and I think $1 of each of the tickets sold in the 2 weeks that it's put back in the theaters gets sent to cancer research or something, the fuck cancer stuff.
I'm curious what the story is gonna. If it is it the same story, just recut.
It's essentially the same story recut, but there's deleted scenes and stuff, so there's alternate versions of how things play out. But it's essentially the same movie, but from what I can gather, the format is now Deadpool has kidnapped Fred Savage,
And he's telling him a story.
and he is telling him the events of Deadpool 2, but now they are different
That is
because
so
they're
weird.
because he's telling it to Fred Savage in a kids friendly version of it. But it's still gonna be able to say shit. It's still PG-13.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They're still gonna have people getting their heads cut off. There's just gonna be probably less or no blood.
Oh, you're gonna get a sense of the blood change it to like I don't know.
They'll just take it out. They'll just take it out. Because a lot of it is just, oh, he got stabbed. They just don't put the squirt of blood on the other side of it, you know?
Or they'll change it to like candy.
I mean, they could do that for part of it. I don't think they'd do that for the
No.
whole movie. I think it would be too distracting. I imagine it'll just be like any other PG-13
This
martial
re-release
arts thing.
seems so bizarre
But
to
it just
me.
goes through and clean. Because a lot of that blood was digitally
Yeah,
added.
I guess that's what it helps when effects are digital and stuff now.
Yeah.
It just
But
seems weird.
it's only in the theaters for 2 weeks.
Are they gonna release this onto like DVD, Blu-ray shortly after?
I don't know how much shortly after,
Because
but
it's Christmas, it would make sense, wouldn't it?
it'd be cool. I don't know if it's going to be that shortly after,
Right.
but it would be fortuitous to
When is
probably.
it being released in the cinema?
I think the 12th to the 24th of
Of
Christmas.
Christmas? Oh wow, like, of
December, I
December?
mean.
November? December.
December.
Okay, so yeah, they're not gonna have it in time for Christmas. That'd be weird. I don't know. It seems bizarre. Like that trailer was interesting.
Yeah. There was some pretty good zingers in there.
Yeah.
Some pretty harsh words for Nickelback.
Yeah. Was that was good. That was funny.
Um, I don't see. I was trying to look up the date for December 12th. Yeah, I think it's 12th through 24th.
Okay. You gonna watch it?
I think so. I think it would be fun to go see what the differences are. And I liked Deadpool 2 enough.
Yeah.
I'm curious, like, because it's him telling a kid-friendly version of it. I'm curious if it's him also like with some of the corrections from the end. So I'm curious if we'll kill the X Force
Mm.
because all that stuff was pretty violent.
I mean,
And I know they shot a version of the scenes where the X Force landed and fought people.
you reckon they'll use that instead?
I don't know because they used some of those shots in the trailers originally
Plus,
because they
plus,
didn't.
you said that they also reshot a bunch of stuff, right?
From what I understand, most of the stuff that they reshot
Was
was
just
the
him.
Fred Savage stuff.
Okay. Right.
But I heard that there's deleted scenes, like outtake scenes from the original cut that are in the movie now to fill stuff that they had to take out because of violence or alt versions
Mm.
of jokes.
Okay.
Uh,
We'll see.
different-
I don't know. I'm curious. If a bunch of mates want to peep it, I'll probably peep it that way. But
I was also like never huge into Princess Bride.
it was
Uh,
fine. It was a fun movie.
don't judge me. But yeah, it was fine, but it never was like super big thing for me.
Mm.
I'm not one of the like people who walk around quoting it and shit all the time.
Right. Like if somebody quoted it to me, but like, what's that from?
Yeah, I'll have a few that I know, but that's pretty much it.
Right.
Um, but yeah, what else do we have? One
Last
last thing.
trailer is the final trailer for Alita Battle Angel.
This looks great.
This film wasn't it supposed to come out this year? I thought
I
originally it was supposed to come out like this month.
probably, but I think that was like a long time
Yeah,
ago
yeah,
that
it
it
was a
got
very long
pushed.
time ago. It's coming out worldwide February.
Yeah,
I'm
which
so
could go
down.
either way.
Yeah, because you know how,
February used to mean that they didn't trust that it was going to do well,
but
but
now
in
it's
a
like because nothing's out
Deadpool,
there,
post Black
let's
Panther,
hmm
it
let's
could be
release it
okay.
then. It looks good, man.
I think it looks awesome. Neither of us were ever bothered
Nope,
by the eyeballs.
nope.
It's
And
just
the
gonna
more I
make
see it, the more
it.
I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, I really like it. She
yeah,
looks like the damn drawings, man. I don't
yeah.
see what the
It
big
looks
thing.
good too. They're doing so much of the manga too. It's pretty wild.
I didn't expect them to have the like her battling in the big arena
Yeah,
thing and the, like
that's bloody sick.
yeah, it looks crazy. I can't wait for this. I think this is like, and especially because it's Robert Rodriguez, you think of how he adapted Sin City.
Yeah, which is
You think of
still one of the best.
how long James Cameron has been wanting to do Alita.
Decades.
I feel like they're gonna
Yeah,
really try and make it something unique and
I think so
special.
too. I
So
think so too.
I'm excited for that one quite
Like
a bit.
curious alone because it's them two collaborating, and it's the
Right,
property, and it's something. I mean, you see what Rodriguez can do, and you know how big a fan Cameron is. So he's
right.
not just gonna make something garbage,
Nah.
you know.
And we're gonna at very least, even if the story of this movie somehow is just complete doo doo.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the stuff that they're gonna visually put together for us to sit and watch for 2 hours
Oh,
is
it's
gonna
gonna be
be
sick. Yeah, yeah.
crazy. It's gonna be
I
crazy.
don't think the story's gonna be doo doo either.
I
Like
don't
it,
think
I
I
think
don't
it's
think
gonna
it
be
is.
simple enough for people to follow.
Yeah, I mean literally the only thing that I've seen that I'm not into is I'm not into the boy that she gets a crush on or whatever.
Right, but that's
He looks like a weird version of the Drake and Josh kid, and it's like
that's
distracting to
distracting.
me. Yeah, uh, I feel like if they just would have found someone with a different face, then it would
Sure,
have been okay.
they should have seen GT's face.
Yeah, CG that kid's face different. Make him just a different looking dude.
But yeah, that's out February. I'm looking forward to it. And
And
that was.
John Boyega as that guy.
Would you be okay with that?
Are you okay with it? That's why I said
Okay.
it.
Uh, yeah, that's it. That was um,
um,
that was all we had.
yeah, that's all the stuff on the list,
Mm-hmm.
and it is 5 in the morning, so that seems like a good
Yahoo!
place to wrap it up.
I'm gonna quickly edit this and then just upload it. Thanks for
Awesome.
joining, guys. We'll record another one next week, most likely.
I really hope we could do one sooner than that, but it is holiday time and all that stuff.
Well, it's
So,
holiday for you. For me, there's no holiday, so I could record whenever you're good.
well, hopefully we can come up with a couple of subjects and hit up on another one.
Yep, yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep, yep.
But in any case, until the next one, guys, we'll see you on 125 is our next one, right?
Yeah, that's a pretty big milestone.
We've got to do something cool for
Let's draw
125.
something on that one.
Yeah,
Yep.
I
We can
like
just
it.
talk random stuff. If you guys got questions that you want answered, we can answer them in that
That
episode.
would be
Who
cool.
knows?
That would be cool. But until the next one, guys, stay chipper, chaps.
Say chipper.